What's going on, everybody? Coach Dashawn back once again from the Stratford Road location. I know it's been a while since you guys heard my voice, so I'm just happy to be back once again to deliver you guys another health hack on this beautiful Tuesday morning. First and foremost, I hope you guys are feeling well rested. Hope you guys had your favorite cup of coffee. Hope you guys had your favorite cup of tea. Hope you got your morning routine down pat, and now that you're ready to take on anything that the world is going to throw at you today. Now, the topic for today's health hack is nutrition for pre-diabetes. Now, before we dive deeper into the presentation, I just want to go over real quick about what pre-diabetes kind of is. So pre-diabetes is a warning sign that you're heading towards developing type 2 diabetes. But the good news is you've caught it early enough to turn the train around and avoid letting your condition become worse. But before we start to make lifestyle changes, it is quite helpful to know exactly what pre-diabetes is. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started with the presentation. So you guys just sit back, relax, and open up your ears, and let's enjoy the ride. First thing I want to talk about with you guys is just some facts about pre-diabetes. Now, pre-diabetes is real, it's common, and most importantly, it is reversible and preventable. You can prevent or delay pre-diabetes from developing into type 2 diabetes with simple, proven lifestyle changes. Now, a couple quick facts. Pre-diabetes is a serious health condition where the blood sugar levels are higher than normal. They're higher than what they need to be, but they're not high enough yet for you to be fully diagnosed as diabetic. Now, pre-diabetes, like stated before, puts you at an increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes, but also puts you at an increased risk of developing heart disease and suffering a stroke later on in life. Now, approximately about 88 million adults in America, that's at least 1 out of every 3 adults, have pre-diabetes. But meanwhile, at least 84% of those don't even realize that they're pre-diabetic. You can have pre-diabetes for years with no clear symptoms at all. So it often goes undetected until serious health problems show up later in life. Some of those health problems you need to be on the lookout for: being overweight, being 45 years or older, having a parent or sibling who has type 2 diabetes, or just being sedentary for the majority of the week. Now, pre-diabetes is a big deal. Do not let the pre fool you. Pre-diabetes is a serious health condition. Like stated before, your blood sugar levels are higher than what they need to be, but they're not quite high enough for you to be diagnosed as diabetic. So always be on the lookout for those health risks. Start to figure out, if you need to, head to your doctor, have your blood sugar taken, and just be on the lookout, guys, and just making sure that you're continuing to stay safe and being able to detect pre-diabetes early, so you guys have a better chance at fighting it and reversing it and not developing type 2 diabetes. All right, guys, just to continue off of the last slide, just to talk a little bit more about how serious pre-diabetes is. Once those pre-diabetes develop into type 2 diabetes, life might be difficult. Living with diabetes is harder to live with than pre-diabetes. Even though people with pre-diabetes are already at a higher risk of heart disease and developing a stroke, they don't yet have to manage the serious health problems and complications that actually come with the diabetes diagnosis. Diabetes affects every major organ in the body. People with diabetes often develop major complications such as kidney failure, blindness, nerve damage, which nerve damage can lead to amputation of a toe, foot, anything like that. Some studies have even suggested that diabetes doubles the risk of depression, and that risk increases as more diabetes-related health problems continue to develop, which all can sharply reduce the quality of life. Now, like we stated before, prediabetes can be reversed and also can be prevented. Think of prediabetes as that fork in the road. If you continue to ignore it, your risk for type 2 diabetes will continue to go up. Now, healthier lifestyle choices play a huge part in bringing down your blood sugar levels back down to where they should be, their normal levels. A couple of lifestyle changes that you can make: eat healthier foods, become more active. And by more active, we mean at least 30 minutes a day of not talking about strenuous activities where you're sweating a lot. 30 minutes a day of brisk walking. Now, I know with the seasons changing and the temperatures dropping, schedule time throughout your day, 10 minutes a day, and go outside for a brisk walk while the sun is still out, or go outside and walk around your house for at least 10 minutes, or walk inside your house if the weather is a bit too cold outside or it's rainy or anything like that. So become more active, at least 30 minutes a day, 150 minutes a week. With that will come the losing of excess weight. Also, if you're a smoker, you might want to consider to stop smoking, and also taking any medications that you are prescribed as needed. The key to preventing type 2 diabetes is always early intervention. You do not want to wait until the last minute. It's almost like a test. It's almost like a project. You never want to wait until the last minute to actually start to do something, or else it might be too late. Now, let's talk nutrition. A diet filled with refined and processed carbohydrates that digest quickly can cause higher spikes in blood sugar, which is exactly the opposite of what we want if we want to help prevent prediabetes from developing into type 2 diabetes. Now, besides nutrition, there are many other factors that can increase your risk for prediabetes. Genetics play a role, especially diabetes runs in your family, like stated before. However, other factors play a larger role in developing type 2 diabetes, such as inactivity, like stated before, and being overweight are other potential health factors as well. But back to the nutrition side, like we said, a diet filled with refined and processed carbohydrates that digest quickly cause higher spikes in our blood sugar, like I said, which is something that we want to avoid. Now, in prediabetes, sugar from food begins to build up in our bloodstream because insulin cannot move easily into our cells. Now, people think that carbohydrates are the culprit that causes prediabetes, but it's always the amount and the type of carbohydrates consumed in a meal that influences our blood sugar. For most people with prediabetes, the body has a difficult time lowering blood sugar levels after meals. So, avoiding blood sugar spikes by watching our carbohydrate intake can help. Also, when you eat more calories than your body needs, it gets stored as fat. This can cause you to gain weight. Body fat, especially around the belly, is linked to insulin resistance. This explains why many people with prediabetes are also overweight. Now, what you want to do, or what you want to start doing, is choose foods that are low in fat and calories, but high in fiber. You want to focus on fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Choose a variety of foods that will help you achieve your goals, but also without compromising taste and nutrition, because once you compromise taste and nutrition, you might tend to go back to your old ways with your diet, which is something that at this point we want to prevent as well. Eliminating carbs altogether will not help. So don't even think about doing something like that. Recent research has shown that a lower carb diet which is less than about 40% of carbs that we need in our daily diet, is associated with the same mortality risk increase as a high carbohydrate diet, which is greater than 70% of the carbs that we need for our daily nutritional value. So just be mindful of what you eat, guys. Try different foods. Always figure out what you might like, and we can always tailor the food to your liking, while also keeping it healthy. Now, portion control also plays a big part when it comes to nutrition for pre-diabetes. Always watch those serving size. Good portion control can keep your diet on the low glycemic index level. This means you limit the amount of food you eat. Often, portions in the United States are much larger than intended serving sizes. A bagel serving size is usually about half, yet many people continue to eat the entire bagel. Food labels can help you determine how much you're eating by listing the calories, the amount of fat, the amount of carbs, and other nutritional information for a serving on the label of food. So always be checking food labels just to see how much of the carbs, calories, and fats that you're consuming. Also, one of the best methods to help manage portions is to practice mindful eating. Now, 3 things you'll need to do in order to practice mindful eating. You'll need to eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. This helps prevent people from overeating. Eat when you're hungry, stop when you're full. Sit and eat slowly. I know I catch myself doing this as well, where I'm just going through a plate and then later on I just feel bad because I just ate a whole lot of food in a short amount of time. Sit down and eat slowly. Your food's not going to go anywhere. Just take your time. Be sure to chew your food thoroughly and just enjoy it. Also, try to focus on the food and the flavor. So you also focus on that taste, being sure to enjoy the food thoroughly. Like, it ties back into the sit and eat slowly. Sit and eat slowly and focus on the food and the flavor. Eating more fiber-rich food is also beneficial. Fiber-rich foods help us feel fuller for longer. Also, fiber adds bulk to your diet, helping make our bowel movements easier to pass. Also, eating fiber-rich foods can make you less likely to overeat. They'll also help prevent the crash that we usually get when we tend to eat sugary foods. You know, when you're feeling good one moment, and then the next moment you're ready to pass out wherever you are. These types of food will also give you a big boost of energy, but will make you feel tired shortly after. So, examples of fiber-rich foods include beans and legumes, fruits and vegetables that have edible skin, so you might want to pick up that apple, whole grain breads, whole grains such as quinoa and barley, whole grain cereal, and whole grain wheat pasta. So you might want to switch out the sugary cereal for something a little bit more healthier, like some whole wheat Cheerios. Eating lean meats. Now, meat does not contain carbohydrates, but it can be a good source of saturated fat that we still need for our diets. Now, eating too much fatty meat can lead to higher cholesterol levels, which will not help if we're trying to prevent type 2 diabetes from developing. Now, with pre-diabetes, a diet with low saturated fats and trans fats can help reduce the risk of developing heart disease, like we stated before, which also ties into developing type 2 diabetes. Sources of lean meats include chicken without the skin, egg substitutes or egg whites, beans and legumes are good, soybean products such as tofu or tempeh, fish such as cod, flounder, haddock, halibut, tuna or trout, lean beef cuts, shellfish, turkey without skin, or even low-fat Greek yogurt, which I have to say is quite delicious in the morning for breakfast. Drink plenty of water. I cannot stress this enough. As simple as it sounds, drink plenty of water. Water is an important part of any healthy diet. Be sure to drink enough water each day to keep you from becoming dehydrated. If you have pre-diabetes, water is a healthier alternative to sugary sodas, juices, and energy drinks, which we would like to cut out from our diet completely. Well, not completely, but we would like to consume less sugary drinks in our diet. The amount of water you should drink every day depends on your body size, activity levels, and the climate you live in. Low glycemic index and functional foods. A food's glycemic index reflects how quickly any given food will raise your blood sugar. To avoid drastic spikes in blood sugar, you might want to choose foods with a low glycemic index levels, such as non-starchy vegetables such as carrots, sweet potatoes, leafy greens, squash, and corn. Also, with functional foods, there are a handful of functional foods that can help regulate our blood sugar levels. Functional foods are naturally occurring foods that are shown to have additional medicinal benefits beyond basic nutrition. These functional foods include cinnamon, chia seeds, turmeric, extra virgin olive oil, flax seeds, apple cider vinegar, as well as garlic. Foods to avoid. As we all know, we should always try to avoid sugary foods, whether that's a sugary snack, whether that's juice, or whether that's a slushie, or whether it's anything that contains a large amount of sugar. We would like to avoid consuming anything that has a high intake of sugar. Now, as part of your pre-diabetes diet, we recommend avoiding processed and refined foods as much as possible. These foods tend to be void of nutrients and have a high glycemic index level, which can cause drastic spikes in our blood sugar levels, like we stated before. Try to eat these foods and ingredients sparingly, which means we should try to avoid white breads, pasta and rice, packaged snack foods, flavored coffee drinks, sweetened breakfast cereals, sugary drinks like soda and juice, and also we would like to try to consume less alcohol as well. Like I said before, water is key. Water is key to life. So be sure that you're switching out any of these refined processed foods with a healthier alternative. When it comes to juice or flavored coffee, try consuming more water. Well, guys, that's all I have for you guys today. Just to go a little bit more, exercise is also a big part in any healthy lifestyle, especially for those with pre-diabetes. A lack of physical activity has been linked to increased insulin resistance. Also, exercise causes the muscles to use that glucose for energy and makes the cells work more effectively with insulin. Like we stated before, at least 5 days a week for at least 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be strenuous or overly complicated. Walking, dancing, riding a bicycle, or taking an exercise class, or just a few ways that you can incorporate exercise into your lifestyle. And also, break the pre-diabetes change. Like we stated before, there's about 88 million adults in the US that have pre-diabetes. And like we stated before, at least 84% of those don't realize that they are pre-diabetic. Early medical intervention is important in order to catch the condition before it turns into type 2 diabetes. And if you have been diagnosed with pre-diabetes, you and your doctor can help develop a diet plan that will help work for you. But with that being said, guys, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you once again for tuning in and sticking with me throughout this entire morning. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. I hope the rest of your day is the best of your day, and we will talk to you guys later.